So a while back, I heard this number that only 1 in 3 people in Nashville has a home church, which means 2 out of 3 people don't. And this phrase, spiritual homelessness, kind of just came to me. There's just this sense when you talk to people, like they love the idea of Nashville, love the excitement of Nashville, but are trying to find a community and trying to find a place where they belong.
I was in a place where I was kind of burnt out on church. I was like, I'm over it. Like, it's so draining, like I just want to be who I am, and I want to be able to love people and not have limits on it. And really connecting with Jason and all the people here at Home Church has been a breath of fresh air, has been really restorative for my view of what church could be, and I feel at home.
I grew up a preacher's kid, and with that, partially church-imposed and probably more so self-imposed, I felt this need to pretend, like to be perfect, which would be great if I were perfect, but I'm not. And so when we started this church, we wanted to let people know that we're not perfect, and we're not expecting anyone else to be perfect. But to do that, it requires vulnerability from the beginning.
We teach people to hide by telling them that they have to do certain things or they won't be accepted. So naturally, people are going to start hiding things that they're really struggling with or who they are. I mean, we have some people here that have been open and honest about being atheists or being in a place with God that, isn't the best, which normally would probably get them looked at crazy, like, well, why are you here, But we want this to be a place where you're safe to ask questions and believe in God or not believe in God. We want you to be able to feel like you can process and still be accepted. And I know for a fact that when people feel safe, it's easier for them to connect. It's easy for people to feel like they have a home somewhere where they're accepted, whether that's in a church or even in a crazy thing like gangs. Like, home is when people feel connected.
I heard someone say once that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and so we should listen twice as much as we speak. And so it's a constant struggle to care more about what other people think than my great ideas or our great ideas. When you listen more than you speak, it tends to be a lot messier than you had planned and maybe even than you had hoped. We can have plans and we can have strategies, but we have to hold our plans in open hands rather than closed hands, because God, the Holy Spirit, and people are going to completely wreck that pretty early on and multiple times.
Through conversation, even the first conversation that Jason and I had, I can tell that he wasn't the typical pastor, like just hearing his heart for the creatives and really a bunch of people that are usually considered outcasts or like they don't belong, in church. He has a heart for.
Home church is a great place because the pastor's not afraid to ask people to help. He lets other people try things like me, try art in the middle of church. They're open to creativity, willing to put art supplies in the back of the room. We're baby stepping into experiential worship. And so I like the fact that it's very open to creative ideas.
When I got into ministry and was finishing graduate school, I really expected to know everything that I was supposed to know to do this whole ministry thing. But what I've found in my experience is that ministry is less of a roadmap and more of a canvas. And so we don't necessarily know exactly where we're going at every single point on our journey, but we have these colors and these paints, and it's like God's not saying do this, this, and this. It's like, here's a canvas, here's some colors, like let me lead this and we'll paint something beautiful out of it.